Hey guys, today I'm going to be breaking down 5 of the biggest and most common mistakes I've seen and been guilty of whilst playing Valorant over the last couple of weeks. The first mistake that I see all the time is wasting the abilities at the start of a round. How often do you see your teammates instantly dump all their utility around a corner? I'm looking at you here, Ray. Of course, there's a chance you'll get lucky and get a kill or two, but that's just it. In most cases, you'll do no damage and then not have your ability for later in the round. Especially against good teams, they'll know you're about to try this and bait out as much utility as possible. As well as damaging abilities, people love to lay down their smokes instantly. Literally, all this does is delay the start of a round for a few seconds. But really, is this the best use for them, where later on they could allow you to win a 2v1 or help your team out of a difficult situation? Of course, in some cases an early smoke can be useful, but using them all is a waste. Finally, the most annoying waste of utility is a Sage placing a wall instantly at the start of a round. I've been guilty of this, but all you need is for the enemy team to hose down the wall in about 3 seconds to realise how bad an idea this is. The wall takes just over a click from a Vandal to destroy, so if there is more than one enemy there, it stops them for about 2 seconds. What makes it especially infuriating is Sage's other ability literally does the job you're trying to do with the wall. It slows enemies and stops them pushing and can't be countered. And if there isn't a push to the wall, it becomes so weak by the time it might have become useful to stop the other team rotating, it makes it useless. Next time you're playing an aggressive team, try to use the slow orbs before the wall and you'll get much better results. The second mistake that I see all the time is pretty much the opposite of the first, not using abilities when you should. How many times has there been an enemy holding a line of sight with an operator only for your team to push into their line of sight one by one and all get destroyed? This is especially annoying where there are so many abilities to counter this. You could flash them, lay down smoke cover to allow you to close the distance on them, use breach to stop them ADSing down that lane, dash with jet to avoid the shot, or use damaging abilities off walls, to name a few. Ultimates too, people seem to be scared to use them. Of course, you want to get the most out of it as it takes a few rounds to earn, but once you've got it, you want to use it relatively quickly, so you have another chance to earn it before the changing of sides or the end of the game. These abilities have the power of winning a round for you, so don't be scared to use them. We've talked about the poor use of abilities, so now let's get on to the gunplay. The third most common mistake I see all the time is bad crosshair placement. This of course is a fundamental technique of competitive shooters, but because of Valorant's recoil system and the fast time to kill, if you don't make your first 3 shots count, you're leaving the winner of a fight down to luck. Everyone has had that moment where you walk around a corner and instantly get headshotted and called out hacks. But in most cases, this is just the opponent having great crosshair placement and a fast reaction time. If you walk around the map with your crosshair at foot level, you're putting yourself at a massive disadvantage. If your opponent starts the fight aiming at your chest or head, and you are shooting their feet, there is only ever one winner. As well as aiming at head height, you must also clear rooms or corners with your crosshairs leading you round. The less adjustment needed to your aim, the more chance you have of winning a fight against someone holding a tight angle on you. Long flanking is the fourth mistake on this list, especially on defense. It's so tempting to do a large wide flank, sneaking up behind the enemy team, mowing them all down to get a flashy play for your highlight reel. But this is such a high risk strategy which any half competent team will shut you down and you'll be a free kill for them, or you'll be so far away from the action your team will get overrun and you'll have to retake site in a 1v2 or 3 with the bomb planted. Of course, a flank can be an important tool to use in specific situations. But say, if the whole enemy team are known to be pushing A site on Haven, and you're holding down C long, you have the decision to run back through your spawn, or to flank through the attacker spawn as quietly as possible so they don't hear you. Even if the enemy team aren't holding the A lobby, or just the spawn in general, in the time it takes for you to sneak up behind them, they are likely to have already pushed into site and taken control. Whereas, if you'd sprinted from C to A through your own spawn and held a position in A heaven, your player has a much higher chance of impacting the round. There are similar situations on all maps, say, on Split, the choice between slowly flanking through sewers from mid, or being able to instantly help at A by rotating through vents, or on Bind by doing a long rotate through cave from either site. Overall, the length of time you're doing nothing in the round by sneaking up behind the enemy team, and the likelihood that you'll be too late or easily killed by a flank watch makes long flanking useless in the majority of cases, and by exploiting it against unorganised teams just reinforces a bad habit. The final major mistake I see all the time is players moving while shooting, or just poor recoil control in general. If you are a CSGO player, this is very obvious to you, but moving while shooting massively increases your hipfire spread. and anything over very short ranges makes it luck whether or not you hit your shots. Spray firing also has a similar effect to moving while shooting. After your first 3 shots, recoil and bullet spread make it much more difficult to keep accurate. Of course, the recoil is predictable for about 6 shots and can be controlled to a certain extent, but after that the recoil becomes random. In other games, you have to weigh up, is it more important to get bullets down range or to be pinpoint accurate, but in Valorant, accuracy is king. If you don't kill in 3 or 4 shots against most competent players, you will lose the fight unless you're very lucky. And they are my 5 biggest mistakes I see in Valorant. If you think I've missed any off my list, put them down in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching!